They are good. It's fun because they have a lot of like blue and green trails, so it's actually very accessible. And you can take like a stock rig through quite a bit of Tahuya, and it's only until like you get to the rock crawly stuff that you really have to have something that's built up. And then if you come at the right time of year, which is now, they have big pools of water down there. So you can do some pretty fun water crossings. You have tuned in to Remote Trails Radio, where your hosts, Garrick and Melody, take you off the beaten path into the world of overlanding, life in the Pacific Northwest, and whatever the heck else we feel like chatting about. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's hit the trails together.
Welcome, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Melody.
And I'm Garrick.
And you're listening to Remote Trails Radio. All right, what do we have for you today? We're going to talk about a few things from previous episodes, but then we're going to get into some juicy bits. We'll talk about exploring the North Mountain Fire Lookout here in Washington. We'll talk about some new tires and how to save a whole whack of money from Discount Tire.
Yeah.
Garrett's going to tell us about some trail maintenance events that he went to, as well as some more mini adventures, camp and ride, and then what he's done to put together his new electric kitchen and what you can look forward to if that's something you're thinking of doing.
Awesome. Let's get into it.
Well, I have an update from episode 38, if you want to hear it.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
So Michelle wrote us, she listened to the episode. She says she does not want a fridge slide after all of that, after all that speculation. She wants a drawer-style fridge. So there's a few different brands that do that, and she's really into it because she's like, I just want to be able to pull it out, like a pull-out freezer kind of deal. So Then she wants to pick the power bank that fits that particular fridge. And I don't know if drawer-style fridges need a different amount of power, but anyway, so that's what she's been waiting for.
Well, I understand why because it does slide. It's built into the drawer system, essentially.
Yes. But anyway, just want to clarify that.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about drawer fridges much, so I'm glad that this has come up because I think they're actually pretty cool, especially like if you want to be really space efficient and you just don't need a lot of volume. Because for me, honestly, my food doesn't take up that much space unless you have big vegetables and whatnot, like lettuce or whatever. But it's usually just cans. Even if you have cans, it's a fridge. You could also just keep a couple cans in there and then just rotate in the warm ones as you drink them. So there's ways to make it work if you want.
Yeah, I do love the idea, but it is very committing to me personally.
Yeah.
It's not like you can really move it around. You kind of have to like bolt it down to something, right?
Oh, yeah. No, you got to be dedicated to using it. But I have a fridge slide, so I bolted my thing down. So whatever.
That's true. You did, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
A lot of people will have two drawers, and they open up your hatch, you got two drawers, right? So you could have one could be your fridge, and the other one could be all your cooking stuff on the other side. Like match made in heaven. Or at least in a trunk.
Nice. Do you have any updates from previous episodes?
I do. I was listening to episode 39 where we were talking about going all electric, and I kind of was like, wait a second, I really missed a really good point that not only does going electric have all the advantages that I mentioned before, but it also gives you a lot more flexibility because you don't have to use the induction cooktop and cookware like you would with a flame. It's like you could use like Shannon uses a rice cooker, right? Rice cooker is great for electric cooking, pressure cooker if you have an Instant Pot, air fryer if you really want options. I mean, honestly, even if you're like you want to be super lazy, and I couldn't even use this weekend, a microwave could make sense. So.
Oh my goodness! What?
Yeah, microwave. Yeah, for reals.
I was thinking one of those little easy bake ovens so you could make chocolate chip cookies on the trail. That would be cool.
There you go. Yeah. So, anyways, that's another advantage that I totally missed out on episode 39. So now it has been corrected and we can move on.
Nice. Okay, well, let's move on.
Yeah, I've heard that you've been out on the trails recently.
I was out and about. I was with Explore PNW. They're hosting quite a lot of free events. Nice. So I went on their North Mountain Fire Lookout event, which was just one day. So no overlanding required. You could if you wanted to, and it's out by Darrington. So north of Seattle and then east. So
Yeah. That's actually during the summer. That's a well-known mountain biking trail system there on North Mountain. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. We actually had to look out for bikers jetting across the road while we were driving. So that was definitely something we had to be careful of.
Oh, interesting. So it's not snowed in, or maybe it can start from a lower elevation. Huh. That's cool.
What we saw was that bikers were being shuttled by cars to the top, and then they were biking down.
Yep.
And sometimes they crisscrossed the road. So they were a lot like leaping deer. You kind of had to make sure that you saw them. And then if you see one, there's going to be more. So you got to watch out.
Right. Were there at least signs saying that it was like trail crossing or anything like that? Or is it just literally you just had to keep an eye out?
Not that I could see. I could see trailhead signs, but I didn't see trail crossing signs.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a good one that ended up being 8 vehicles, actually, because a few people dropped out last minute. It was nice because you could pick and choose what part of the day you wanted to participate on. It wasn't like everyone had to go from the beginning and stay together until the end. It was very flexible, which was really nice.
Oh, how does that work?
After the first lookout, we went to the second lookout, and then the second lookout required a 1-mile hike. So the people with the very small baby, they were like, okay, obviously, we're not really going to make it that far. So then they ditched and they had lunch over one of the other outlooks that were really beautiful. And then one couple, they were super keen. And so they did that hike super quickly and then came back and they had lunch in another spot as well.
Okay.
But it was a very easy drive to North Mountain Fire Lookout. I would say almost any car can do it. There's just a significant amount of potholes. So if you have a lesser equipped car, you just have to go slower. And you get to that gate before the fire lookout. So if you're staying at the lookout, then they give you keys for the gate. It's not open yet because of
interesting.
snow, but otherwise there's an easy parking lot at the gate, park there and then walk up. And so it was a little over a mile each way in the snow. And I took both dogs.
Were you snowshoeing?
No, I wish I had snowshoes on. No, we just walked with the shoes on our feet. One person was smart enough to bring gaiters, but I did not.
Were you carrying your dogs, or were they actually able to walk on the snow?
They were able to walk. I did carry Boba.
I was gonna say maybe they're light enough they can just float on top of it, essentially.
You would think so, but it had snowed 3 days before, so that it did have some kind of structure.
Yeah,
and they definitely fought hard. They were adventure dogs that day.
Yeah. So it wasn't all compacted down. It was actually soft, but it's also PNW cement, so it's heavy. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was Yuzu's first time in the snow, so we were able to throw snowballs, and she tried to catch them. It was really funny.
Yeah, nice.
It was also her first overlanding trip. So I think she was a little startled at first, but I think when she looked over to Boba and he wasn't even reacting, she was like, oh, this is weird. I'm obviously the one overreacting in the car. So she kind of piped down. It was really cute. I didn't want to push it, but they ended up doing some more trails later in the day. And I decided to go home early because I didn't want to ruin the good situation that I had going with Yuzu. I was like, I think this is enough for her. We're going to go home now. So part of the group stayed and part of the group went back.
Gotcha. I didn't realize they had 2 lookout towers over there. So that's actually news to me.
There weren't 2 lookout towers. There were 2 lookouts.
Oh,
so
okay.
He took us to this one lookout area, which was very easy to access. And it was an out and back. So we turned around and then went to the actual lookout with the structure that is really high. And you can climb all the stairs all the way up until the bottom hatch of the place where you can sleep. So you can take pictures from up there. It's really beautiful.
Nice.
And all free. So that's nice.
Yeah, very cool. And then after that, you can roll through the tiny town of Darrington. But there's a couple restaurants there. There's a burger place, which actually they're a little expensive, but they're pretty good burgers. And then there's a restaurant there that's pretty decent as well. So, yeah.
All right. Nice.
Cool. So you guys didn't have to drive over any snow. It was just walking over snow on this one.
Exactly. I think we drove in snow for 20 seconds. It wasn't anything significant. And I think they tried to find the snow later in the day, but I think they were stopped by washout roads. If anyone's ever thinking of going out on a really cool free trip, I would highly recommend Explore PNW, and then check out what they ask for in terms of requirements. You did need a built vehicle to go to North Mountain Fire Lookout, more for fun.
Yeah. I forget, is that North Mountain, is that state forest over there, or is it national forest? What is it?
Ooh, I'm the wrong person to ask that.
On the mountain itself, I don't think there's few, if any, dispersed camping opportunities. And if it's state forest, then it's definitely not. I haven't actually camped in Darrington, but they do have a little state park campground right next to Darrington. And I've parked there before and taken my motorcycle around.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's usually not that busy, surprisingly. I mean, I haven't been there in the height of summer, but I've been there in shoulder seasons, and it's been basically empty. So if you are looking to camp as well, that could be a good option.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was wondering where to camp around there, actually. I should have asked you, but I didn't get my act together in time.
Yeah, I know there is off to the east of Darrington. There's rat trap passes over that way. With that, there's definitely some dispersed camping over there because I know that's national forest. I just don't know about North Mountain itself. So in that area off to the east of Darrington, other than rat trap pass, you can't, as far as I know, it hasn't been fixed yet. There was like a big washout at the very top of it, and motorcycles could get by it. And then if you have a really narrow Willys Jeep, you could maybe get through it. For the most part, if you're in a 4x4, you're going to be pretty freaked out. That has been a couple of years though since I've been there, so maybe they've fixed it. I'm not sure.
Oof.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, but there's actually, I know that they have a bunch of, now that I'm thinking about it, I think you need the Northwest Forest Pass for some of the trailheads they have there, but there's lots of parking areas. I know there's river access. So yeah, it's a cool area. And also Darrington is the very top of the mountain loop highway. You could do a big loop. You could do the mountain loop, end up at Darrington, and then check out North Mountain, and then head west from there to go back. And Mountain Loop has a bunch of cool stuff on it as well, like the ice caves and the Big Four Mountain, and then some very over-popular hiking trails that I wouldn't do just because every time I see the trailheads, they're just like, you have to walk a mile just to get to the trailhead, and then you're starting to hike.
Was the campground you were talking about Whitehorse Campground or Squire Creek Campground?
Squire Creek, that's where I've parked at anyways.
Okay, just west of Darrington, not really close.
Yeah, and it's got really good shade, big old ferns covering you. So it's pretty clean. Big bathroom, yeah.
And to answer your question of what forest that is there at North Mountain Fire Lookout is Washington State Resource Management.
Ah, so it is the state one, yeah.
State.
Yeah, so no camping around North Mountain itself, but you got options nearby.
For sure. I have a couple pins around there too. So yeah, it looks like it's pretty easy to find. Either established campgrounds or dispersed camping.
Nice.
Nice.
I hear that it is not just a first for Yuzu, but it was something else that was a first for on your trip, of the rubbery kind, perhaps.
Oh, my new shoes.
Yeah.
Yes, I took out my new shoes. You know, I don't like to waste time in between getting something new and then trying it out. So I got my Mickey Thompsons. Woo! I traded my MTs for other MTs. Mud tires for Mickey Thompsons. And I got the Baja Boss AT. Those are my first AT tires. The last ones were stock. So this is exciting. And yeah, I got them from Discount Tire. And it's been actually pretty great. I got a few compliments on the trail for them, which I was surprised. And some unhappy comments about certain ones, like Falcon Wild Peak. I was surprised about that. Normally I hear only good things, but I heard lamenting about it.
People have been complaining about the 4 version. I still have not really heard many complaints about the 3 version, except for our mutual friend James, who complained that like at 85,000 miles, you were starting to rot or something. It's okay. That's like a pretty strong endorsement I've ever heard one.
Right? I was going to say that's a positive.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 3 version is good. Maybe stay away from the 4.
Yeah, they had changed up the mixture. I also know that apparently there's a big difference between the LT versions and the C versions. So I don't know. If somebody's complaining, you have to ask them like what version they had too.
They probably told me and I didn't know. Just went over my head.
Well, the thing is, the Wild Peaks, they used to be like half price of the KO2s. So
Right.
it was like
Right.
they were like competitive with the KO2s and they were way cheaper. But then eventually, I guess they figured out that they could charge more for them. So they're not that much cheaper anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think Wild Peaks are cheap anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So yes, they performed great on the trail. It was relatively dry conditions. I had that 20 seconds in snow, and so I can't really give a review off of that. But I would say that there were some roads that were flat and gravel, and on my MTs, that usually was bumpy for me. But on these ATs, man, it's smooth. It was really
Did you
nice.
guys air down for this or no?
Mm-hmm. We aired down, but not crazy because we weren't hitting snow yet. If we had hit snow, we would have gone down more. But since we didn't hit snow, I think most of us were like at 20 PSI.
Yeah, good, comfort level stuff, sure.
Exactly, because we were going in a good clip too. Yeah. But yeah, let me give you a rundown on Discount Tire because I think that I had talked about that in a previous episode already. Yeah. So the conclusion is for these, I saved a total of $425. That was for 5 tires, including certificates.
Nice.
And so that's basically a warranty on the tires for the life of the tires. I did that with a Mickey Thompson rebate online that gave me a $100 gift card. And then I had Discount Tire beat the online price that I had found elsewhere. They don't match it, they beat it, which was really cool.
That is very cool, yeah.
And then I bought the certificates in store at a discount. So online it was full price, but in store I was able to get a better offer.
So how did you do that? Because that's the magic. Because I know that other people have told me this, but when I was there, like they didn't even talk about it at all. They didn't ask me about it or anything. So I was like, I wasn't sure I wanted them anyways because the math never worked out for me. But I was like, well, they didn't even ask me, so lame.
For me, I just straight up asked.
Okay.
I was checking out and giving them my credit card, and then I just asked, can you give me a discount on the certs? And they were just like, okay. I have heard different negotiations. Some stores are really trying to sell you on it. And if you say no, then they'll come back later and say, okay, we'll give it to you half off. Mm-hmm. I have heard of different people's experiences, people that we know that have done that. And yeah, that didn't really happen for me. So I didn't get as good of a deal. But to be honest, they knew that I was already getting a pretty sweet deal on the tires because they can see your order come through and they see what discount you're getting. So I think all in all, $425 is pretty good.
Yeah, that's like a whole extra tire.
Yeah, I would have saved a lot more by going to Oregon, but yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so when you buy your tires, Discount Tire, be the online price of a different online shop, and then go in store and see if they'll give you a rebate on the certificates on the tire.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big Discount Tire fan. I was actually just talking to Shannon about this. I was like, everything's more expensive now, but at least with Discount Tire, it seems like their services have not exploded in cost, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. For example, I finally got a new rim to replace my cracked rim, and I went in to have that replaced with the old one. And I also needed them to swap them because I already had swapped the rim tire with the broken rim one because I wanted the tread depth to remain the same on my 4 because I don't 5 swap my tires. So I needed to like have them like swap the 2 out and whatnot. And they did all the balancing, and it was only like it was under $50 for 2 tire swaps and a tire and a balancing. I was like,
wow,
pretty solid. Yeah,
that's great.
And they did it under an hour, so. And it's really easy making reservations, and there's so many of them. So yeah, I'm a big Discount Tire fan.
So you finally bought rims. Finally
got rims, yeah.
And more than one because you only needed one.
Yeah, a guy over in Sultan, which is not crazy far away, but it's also not close. It's like a good 45-minute drive from my house. It was a distance, but I was able to meet him. You can't buy them individually. They're just hard to find that way. But so I bought a set. And I got it for $175. So
that's great. Are you going to sell them on eBay for $90 a pop?
Yeah, right. I should try. I mean, I don't need 3 spares. I'll probably want to keep at least 1 spare, but like I
Right.
don't think I need 3 spares. If I'm
Right.
cracking rims like that, then I'm doing something very wrong.
Hey, you got to help someone else out who's looking for one.
Yeah, right. I need a rim that cracks easier, so the rim will take all the damage, and then it won't damage my tie rods and steering racks. I
Oh
need it to be the weak
man.
link.
All new, good to go.
That makes me wonder though, like if you had Steelies, maybe that's how it would work. Maybe the Steely would just go more bent because it's just softer, right?
Oh,
And then it wouldn't break your more expensive stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. Instead of driving on a bent rim, it just sounds bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We were talking about your tires though. Sorry, I went on a big tangent
No
there.
worries. No worries.
Yeah, so did you get the same size as you had before with the MTs?
Yes, 285, 70, 17.
And what is that?
That's 33.
33, okay. That's cool.
And not pizza cutters, just the standard stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't be part of the pizza cutter family.
I met someone on that trip actually who was very proud of his pizza cutters, and I was like, yeah, not bad. He was driving a 5th gen 4Runner.
Nice.
Like, yeah, he's got it figured out. Nice job.
I will say, I think the pizza cutters are cool, but also they may not be the best choice for the Pacific Northwest because I think their wet handling is not as good as the wider tires. So
why do you think that is?
I think you get more siping involved, with the more that's actually in contact with the surface.
More rubber on the ground.
Right.
I like what I've got. So, personal preference. I would like to go 35, but then I need to swing out. I don't know if I'm prepared for that.
So, yeah, was there anything else that you think you needed to do after that, or is it all pretty dialed in?
Yeah, I feel like since that road to North Mountain Fire Lookout was a little rough, I think I may think about upgrading my bump stops. I did my bump stops like 8 years ago, and I feel like they've come out with new ones, and I don't know if they're better. I think James loves them. They're like the bright blue ones that are foamy.
Okay, interesting.
They're kind of like memory foam, I guess. I'm sure they're more sophisticated than that, but that's kind of what it looked like to me. Because I think mine are made out of rubber. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, rubber degrades, right? So I think they said tires that you're not supposed to buy tires that are over 5 years old or something like that because the degradation that happens with them. So it might make sense to just switch out your bump stops where you're on a decade basis anyways.
Oh boy, that's true, huh? I do have a lot of maintenance coming up as well. So if I do that, maybe I just do everything at the same time.
Yeah. You're dropping axles, absolutely.
I'm thinking about going to Lost Lake during the summer. And
that's the ultimate challenge.
I just don't see that road ever getting better in my lifetime.
Yeah, I'm sure we've opined on it here before, but for people who aren't unfamiliar, it's the worst potholy road and rutted road I've ever ridden ever. and it's only because Lost Lake and then the lookout above it is amazing that you would even ever consider doing it. But
right, it's getting busier and busier, man. That lake is crazy busy. Probably us talking about it on the radio doesn't help either, but it's great. Just that road. Oh my God.
Maybe that's how it's got its name. Well, that road's so destroyed. This is a lost lake. It's over. It's lost to us.
Yeah. So Garrick, tell me, what have you been up to? Since you didn't go to North Mountain Fire Lookout, I feel like you were doing something else.
Yeah, I have been up to a couple things recently. One of them was that there's a group called Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance. They are an organization here that's, I think they're primarily Washington based because everything I've seen has been based out of Washington. But they're basically this organization that promotes keeping the trails in great shape and then has things like mountain bike education and whatnot. And they have a big mountain bike festival, and it's just a really cool organization that is just dedicated to the sport. And it's something that I kind of wish we had in overlanding. We have kind of disparate Facebook groups here and there. And I think maybe Rigs and Adventures is the closest thing we have to it. But Evergreen Mountain Bike, they work with the state officials and whatnot. And they're also working with other trail organization groups. They're working with other cycling groups, but also trail running groups and even the horseman riders of Washington. So they're really connected, and it's cool because they offer what are called work parties. And
Okay.
basically, you just show up and they have all the tools. You just have to bring water and sense of wanting to get work done, and they'll tell you what to do. Well, it's cool because like at least the one I went to was the Spring Fling event, they call it, and you show up and they have coffee and donuts there, and they had
Aw.
free gloves you get to keep, and they had some like swag options as well you can grab. So I got some cool stickers, and then I think we worked for about 4 hours on the actual trail. And for me, I had a rake most of the time. So I was mostly raking and then just picking up big logs that had fallen on the trail and just kind of throwing them off
Okay.
throw them down so they don't roll back down onto the trail. And then at the end, they had hot dogs and they had beer and they had some sort of, I think it was kombucha, and they had
Wow.
a DJ. So
Whoa.
yeah.
That sounds
So
great.
yeah, they know how to do a volunteer event right. So yeah, I think that's kind of my point. You're like why I wanted to talk about this, because there are opportunities out there to give back within our various recreations, and this is a good one for mountain biking. But I think Tread Lightly has a cleanup events as well. So if you're looking for volunteer opportunities and want to get those good feelings and good vibes from doing so, I would recommend people check out what's happening in their area.
Okay. So this one for mountain biking is called Evergreen.
Yes, this is the Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance, and they have a lot of stuff. I was actually just at another trail building event this last weekend, but I'll share that in a future episode.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're taking a break. It's Melody jumping in to say we're hanging out on Instagram if you want to keep up with the Overland nonsense. And if you're on Apple, Amazon Music, or Spotify, go ahead and download the episode so you don't lose us. All right, back to it.
I also continued my camp and ride plan.
What did you call it? Small adventures? Mini adventures?
Mini adventures? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I had another mini adventure just because honestly, I don't know about you, Melody, but this last April that we experienced was probably the most beautiful weather-wise April I've experienced while I've lived in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
For
every
sure.
single weekend was gorgeous. And
Yeah.
usually what happens is it'll be like really nice during the week and then it'll just rain all weekend. That's usually how I remember our springs going. But it's been something else this time around. So this time the camping location was Belfair State Park, which is right on the Kitsap Peninsula as well, up near Port Gamble. And that's about 90 minutes from my house in Seattle. So it's not terribly far. There are ferry options. You could take the Bremerton ferry, or you could take the,
Okay.
what's the one that's in West Seattle? Southworth, that's what it is. It's the Fauntleroy to Southworth ferry. Yeah, so you got a couple of ferry options there.
Does that one take cars, Southworth?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
It actually even stops on Vashon as well.
Okay.
Well, I think it, at least in one of the directions. I'm not sure if it does Vashon on both. Either of those are good. I found generally, though, that it's faster to just go through Tacoma, at least if you're, especially
driving.
Driving. I went there on a Saturday. It's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you're on a motorcycle, definitely take the Southworth, because you can, as a motorcycle, you don't have to wait in the ferry lines. You can just roll on up and then you get first class treatment.
Yeah.
Next boat, you're on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the state park is really cool. It's right on, I'm going to get this right. It's on the Hood Canal, like at the very end of it, essentially. And it is beautiful views that they have there. It is on the small side because they only had one loop for camping, but they also have a day use park as well. So yeah, I did the same thing where I had reserved a site on a Monday and I was camping there on a Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, and the reason why I picked Belfair is that it's close to Tahuya State Forest, which I know you have been to, Melody.
Did you go to the RV park?
The ORV, yeah. I brought my motorcycle for this trip.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so Tahuya has a bunch of off-road trails, but I think like in our group, like it's more well known for its 4x4 stuff, which they are good. It's fun because it's like they have stuff that is a lot of like blue and green trails, so it's actually very accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take like a stock rig through quite a bit of Tahuya, and it's only until you get to the rock crawly stuff that you really have to have something that's built up. And then if you come at the right time of year, which is now, they have big pools of water down there. So you can do some pretty fun water crossings.
I don't know if I've ever been there without water crossings. Like,
Yeah, if you go in the dead of summer, they
really?
have that crazy, I forget what that lake area is called, but there's a lake that is too deep during the spring to go through. And you come in summer and it's just this silt bed. And it's so weird.
Oh,
Yeah. But we did it on motorcycles, and they have a bunch of, they don't have much single track, but they have a lot of double track, which means that you can do motorcycles or quads on them.
I have seen a lot of side-by-sides there.
Yeah, and it's a lot. There's just so much length to it that it would be like an all-day event easy. But a lot of it's green, which is great. They have this thing called the Overland Trail, which is ironically not for 4x4s.
Okay.
Yeah. We probably did maybe a quarter of it, but unfortunately, we had some motorcycle troubles. One of our friends, Rox, was riding a TW200 that when she dropped it, it wouldn't start up again. So we like all tried kickstarting it, and then eventually I had to tow, and then her partner Ego was on it, and he was able to pop the clutch and get it started that way. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, at that point, we went over to a different area and did a little bit of Mission Creek riding. So,
Wait, let's talk about this guy's name. His name is Ego?
Ego, yes, Ego. Yeah, he's a local artist here in Seattle, actually.
How did he get his name?
He was born with that name, so.
Okay, so it's not a nickname.
No, it's his real name. Yeah.
What does he do? What's his art?
I'm not enough of an artist to say what it is. I know he does a lot of murals, and then
like painting.
Yeah, I guess he's a painter. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure there's a specific form of painting that he does, and I should ask him next time somebody asks me this, what his special method is.
Garrick, we're tasking you with getting all the information.
Yeah, well, he's
Come
Lord
back.
Ego on Instagram, so if you want to see some of his work, he's Lord Ego.
That has to be a nickname. That wasn't just born with it, right?
Well, the Lord part, his name is his name's not Lord.
Lady Roxy and Lord Ego. That's so funny.
But no, his art tends towards the kind of spooky side, so I dig it. Yeah, anyway, so that was our day. It was like crazy. It was like 77 degrees in April, just wild. So it's been a weird spring, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Nice to have the sun. You never know when you're going to get it back, so you got to enjoy it, right?
Yeah, I know. Our cup runneth over right now. It's ridiculous. I also feel like we have to complain every time we record that it's a beautiful day. And once again, it's the hottest day of the week today. I think it's 78 or something like that. It's like
yesterday it was 81 at the lake. I was like, wow. Well, yeah, it was really hot. I was putting on zinc sunscreen. Like,
are you paddleboarding?
Yes.
Nice.
That I was. And I did not take the dogs. I went on my own. But Yuzu needs to try it one of these days, for sure.
Yeah. Well, do the trick. I tell you, just blow it up in your house, and every time she jumps on it, give her a treat, and then suddenly this is the coolest thing ever.
That is a good idea. I was also thinking that if Boba's on it, then she'll be like, she'll kind of hopefully follow his lead. Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
Here's hoping.
I do bring treats with me when I'm paddleboarding, so it's always a very yummy endeavor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Both human and dog treats, I'm sure.
Yes, that's for sure. That's what we know. I know we were talking about this the other day. We were like, oh, are you like an adventure paddleboarder or just like push off from the dock and then lay on it kind of paddle?
Yeah.
And it's, when was the last time I stood on it?
It's great because, yeah, you can take a nap on it if you want to, and it's all good.
Yep, I have pictures on my phone cycling through, and it definitely comes up the Vancouver Island paddling, and I'm like, oh, that would be so nice to be there right now.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah, just beautiful.
I would never have bet, though, on April that it would be nice in Vancouver Island, so that would have to be like a quick jump on a plane.
Right.
And then spend the long weekend there, yeah.
Right, and jet back. Yeah. So while you were out there doing your mini vacations, did you try anything out?
Yes. So my electric cooking setup.
Oh, your electric cooking. Yep.
Yeah, it's come to a point where I'm feeling pretty good about it. I got the most critical element, which is a induction cooktop. So I've been using that.
Okay, I've been
And
thinking about that too because I'm thinking about getting a drawer system that's very narrow, and the induction cooktops I think are like 2 inches tall.
uh I feel like mine, I have to measure it. I feel like mine might be 2.5 because it has little feet stands, but
Oh,
it's
little
not
feet.
tall. It's very small. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I fit in with I have that coho box that I bought from Costco. It's like a fisherman tackle box that, yeah, it's cool. Actually, if you're ever in Costco, anybody who's listening, and you see a coho box, it's meant for fishing, like a tackle box, but it's the coolest container box because it seals well, so it's watertight. And if you open it up, it has trays in there, and then the trays kind of lift out so that you have a bunch of big space underneath the trays. And then it also has this area within the lid with zip pouches, so you can put a bunch of whatever you want in there. So our friend Anne was using it for medical supplies. So
That was
she
her
can
first
just,
aid kit.
yeah, like a massive first aid kit because she's a medical professional. She's a nurse.
Dude, I haven't seen those boxes at Costco since you guys got them years ago.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I saw Zach, a friend of the show, Zach. He, after seeing me, because I use it for mine for my cooking setup, Zach saw that and he's, oh, if you're ever in Costco, give me that. And I've been looking, I just haven't seen it every time I was there. But I did notice somebody put one on Facebook Marketplace, and they're
Oh,
only asking
nice.
$50, which is what it costs. But
Ooh.
hey, I mean, they could probably charge a lot more now.
Right.
Yeah, because I think Yeti makes their own version. And I think the Yeti version's $250. So
So are you putting the induction stove in there?
in there, yeah, for porting,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's why I bought the one I bought, which is I bought the new Wave PIC Flex. I think I forget what PIC stands for. It's precision induction cooking. I think they have a bunch of different models. I think the Flex is probably the best for camping, just for a couple of reasons. One, like I said, it's the most compact of all of them. The other thing that makes it cool is that you can actually set the wattage level. So it has, I think it's 600, 900, and I forget what the top one. It's maybe 1200. Yeah.
So this is so you don't trip your battery?
Right. So, for example, I have a 2400 watt inverter on my Anchor, but if I wanted to run it off of my River 2 Pro, I could set it to the 600 watt level and then totally use it off that thing, which is pretty rad.
Okay.
Yeah. But I really like, I've never induction cooked before, and I really like it because you can really be precise about setting the temperature levels. Because usually it's like when I'm cooking over flame, what is medium on my jet boil? I have no idea. Oh, stuff's burning. I better turn it down. Or, oh, nothing's happening. I better turn it up.
All trying to find the medium.
Yeah.
Wait, what should people look for when they're looking for an induction cooktop? So what are some of the key things that you research besides price? Obviously, price is a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with the prices, you're looking anywhere. I don't know. I think I bought around $100. And I think at least of the new Wave ones, they go up to about 200 for their top models. So it's not a huge price range. I mean, all that's cheaper than my jet boil, right? But yeah, I think the wattage level is probably the biggest one. So if you are always planning on running a lot of big battery like mine, like a 2400 watt inverter, you may not care. But if you want the versatility, like I mentioned, then getting something that has different settings is important. Another thing to be aware of is that with induction, the way it works is it's got a bunch of magnet coils, I think, in there, and that needs to interact with the metal of the cooking pot you're using. So if you have a massive pot on a small coil, it won't be very efficient. So you want to kind of get something that will be sized to the cookware you're using. So that's, I think, another big consideration. For mine with the PIC Flex, 10-inch skillet seems about as big as I would go with it, and then nothing larger. But you also don't want something that's smaller than it, right? So if you have something with smaller than, I think it says 6 inches is the smallest size pot you can throw on there. Otherwise, if it's smaller than that, then the coils will be outside of the actual pot and won't be connecting and heating up anything. So
interesting.
Yeah. And then, so if the size is important because you have a certain cargo box like me or drawer or height, like you mentioned too, height's important too, then I would check that out. There's also another way you could go with Stoke Voltaics. I have their or kettle, but they also have this special system where it's not an induction at all, but it's just its own little, I don't know, unit, but it's a little round disc, and it just has a little connector on there, and it comes with a skillet and a pot. And so you can just put those onto that little disc, and then it'll just heat it. So the advantage of that is that when you buy it, I think it's, don't quote me on this, but I think it's around $200 for the whole set, maybe $250 max. You are getting your cooker with it, right? So that's cool. But they also don't collapse at all. So the pot and the pot are kind of big, but you do know that they're going to be perfectly sized for that cooking unit. So I can see some advantages to that if you have the room to store them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just went with one burner.
I only really need one. Yeah.
You only need one.
I still have the Stoke Voltaics kettle. So if I need to boil water at the same time, I can do that. Or if I mentioned earlier this episode, if I wanted to cook rice, I would just bring a rice cooker. In fact, that's what I did on a recent trip. I just brought a rice cooker with me because, well, that's just easier.
I also have no idea how to make rice outside of a rice cooker, so I'd have to use a rice cooker.
It's actually not that hard. Rice cooker does it better no matter what, though. So you're not missing out.
Okay. I feel like I would ruin it otherwise. Although remember that time that I brought pearl couscous on our trip, and I think I was the first one to make a meal. And I brought the pearl couscous, and I had no idea what the cooking instructions were, and there were no cooking instructions on the package. Did not tell me how long to do it. So I guessed 12 minutes. And Garrick, it was exactly 12 minutes when I looked up the instructions when I got service.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, now we have Starlink, so it's never going to happen like that again. But we didn't have service, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? This is an imperative part of the meal.
Nice. Yeah. Well,
I'm going to remember that forever.
Well enjoyed.
That was part of the African stew.
Nice.
Yeah.
So one thing though, like from my testing that I realized is that with induction cooktop, you really need to have it level. It's more important having it level than even other gas stoves because it's got this kind of glass top to them. Okay. So there's not a lot of friction to hold it onto the surface. Yeah. Okay. Which honestly, cooking level is just better anyway, so you should do it. But for me, I was like, okay, I need to do something to make sure that I have a level surface more often. Now, if you have a rig and you have a pull-out kitchen system, then you're leveling your rig, then you're good, right? But for me, I don't have that set up, so I needed a table that would have some sort of leveling option, and my Coleman table that I had was not going to do it. So I did a bunch of research, and also just as a little side thing too, is that I don't like most camp tables that you buy because they're mostly they're like table height meant for sitting at and eating dinner at. And I'm kind of a heathen while I'm camping. I don't ever sit down to eat. Maybe if there's a picnic table, I'll sit down to eat at it. But otherwise, I'm just going to stand and eat my food or maybe sit at my camp chair and just hold the plate with one hand and then have a fork in the other. I'm not fancy while camping. Yeah. So yeah, I really don't need a table. What I need is a cook surface, right? So I found a few options for tables that had adjustable legs, but I eventually settled on the REI Camp Prep table because its adjustable legs were actually through I think it's like a cam where it's got a telescoping sort of hiking pole type setup where you can unlatch it, pull it to whatever height you want, and then retighten it. I think that's called a cam.
Cool.
Anyways, yeah, so it's great because that means the height is infinitely adjustable and you can set all four to wherever you want, which is awesome. And also it goes higher than most tables. It goes up to 32 inches max height, which is still not true counter height because counter height is 36 inches, but it would be tough. If you got to 36 inches, you'd have to have a really large table just to fit all that leg length. So I think 32 is a nice compromise for that. But actually, this table, it doesn't pack down super small, but it is super nice once we get it set up. And I have found that a cool way to level it is to use your phone. At least on iPhones, they have the Measure app. And there's actually a leveling ability within the Measure app. So I just place that onto the table, and then I'll kind of lift it in a certain direction to see if it gets it closer to level. And then if it does, then I can pop that leg down a little bit further until I'm somewhere close. And then after that, if it's not like perfectly level and you want to be really anal about it, you can throw like quarters underneath some of the feet of the induction cooktop, and then get it like super level.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing is that if you are getting induction, you are limited on what you can use for your cookware. Stainless steel, like usually anything, the trick is if it's magnetic, it'll work. So the common ones are stainless steel, cast iron, or carbon steel, but like aluminum won't work because aluminum isn't magnetic. So I recently had a birthday and I got the Summit Detour, a few items from that, like their skillet. And what I really like is the 3-liter pot, because it has a stainless steel base, but it has silicone sides that collapse down.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's super versatile. Yeah, for like recently I was using it just for reheating some food. And so what I did was I actually left it collapsed, and then I put my food in there, and then I put the little top on and just set the heat to medium, and then heat up my food for a few minutes, and like came out perfect. So it's a very versatile pot for that reason.
Great.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's the setup, and it all fits into my coho box. So it's good stuff.
Except for that table, right?
Yeah, the table's huge, and yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm actually, like, I've been putting it next to my fridge, but the fridge is on the fridge slide. So it sits there nicely on calm surfaces. But if you get that kind of like rock from side to side effect, it's banging against the fridge. So I'm going to have to figure out a better solution, but it's decent for now.
Speaking of your prep table, I actually got one of those like fancy camp kitchen prep tables that kind of like folds out and has different heights and all that stuff. You've seen it before.
Oh yeah.
It's just really clunky. It's very heavy to carry, and then it's very clunky to set up and take down. It is super useful because it does have a very high surface area to do like chopping and cooking and all of that. But I found that I don't really take it on trips because it's too much of a hassle.
Sure. Yeah, I considered that one as well, but it didn't really have the leveling ability I was looking for, so that's why I ruled it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The only other thing it hadn't really anticipated prior to going all electric is that it's actually really helpful to have extension cords. So, because you're not always going to be cooking right outside of your rig. Like you might want to put your table somewhere else that's like in shade and it's just a little bit off or whatever. So I have bought a 10-foot cord and a 15-foot cord, so I can kind of adjust to whatever length I need to, given the situation. And also get them in red and yellow, so they'd be very obvious as you're walking around.
Working around a dark car at night. Yeah. That's absolutely necessary.
Exactly.
That's a good tip.
Cool. So that is that. I think we're nearing the end here.
Garrick, do you have any closing thoughts?
Oh, she jumped on it. Oh, do I? Yeah, I think I'm going to lean into my give back message from before. We have a really fun recreation in overlanding, and if you have to think about all the things that need to occur for that to even be a possibility, with all the Forest Service roads and the cleaning up of them and taking care of like all the deadfall that happens every year and the maintaining the facilities that do exist. There's a lot of work there. So it's awesome that we have these available to us. And I think you should consider giving back in some way if you have the opportunity.
That's a great thought. Plan it now.
Absolutely.
Nice.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. And let's call that a wrap. Let's call that a wrap. Not a lap. All right.
I'm leaving that in there, just so you know. That's too funny.
Fine. If they made it that far, then they
If you want to get in touch with us by email, let us know what you think. remotetrailsradio@gmail.com.
RTR, over and out.